Hey there, everyone. This is Connor from Bold Music here, and today we're going to be looking at piano training for beginners. So as an instructor, it is my job to equip my students with the fundamentals necessary to find success in their musical journeys. And to do this, I need to start building good habits in their early stages of learning. Okay, so we're going to be looking at an exercise today that addresses finger contact with the keys, as well as remaining eye contact with the sheet music, which will then increase fluency when sight reading your music. I brought up in our text an analogy as if we were reading a novel and we were looking through a mirror to look back at our mouth to make sure that we're pronouncing our words correctly. As we can imagine, it would probably take a great deal of time to finish the book from start to finish by going about this methodology. And it goes the same way when reading sheet music. If we can find a way to streamline the process, where are our eyes looking when reading the music? If we just find a way to keep our eyes on the music and visualize what's happening underneath our fingertips on the keyboard, then we can increase fluency and the time it takes to finish a piece from beginning to end in the same way. Okay, so in my book series that I like to use with my students, we go over one of the most important scales I think any beginner should know, which is a 5-finger scale. Okay, a 5-finger scale is simply just a scale that consists of 5 keys, and these 5 keys are neighboring keys, so they're immediately right next to each other. We're only going to be looking at white keys in this example, and the 5-finger scale is indicated by the note that is indicated. So in this example, we're going to be looking at a C major 5-finger scale, the first 5 notes in a C major scale: C, D, E, F, and G. I also think it's important when playing anything that requires hand coordination, both the right and the left hand playing at the same time, it's nice to be able to separate the two. So begin with the right hand, or if you're left hand dominant, you can begin with the left hand and then move on to the right hand, vice versa, right? So in this example here, we have the right hand alone indicated at the very top of the page, and then we have the left hand alone indicated at the bottom of the page, right? So we can begin by learning the right hand part, and then we can follow by learning the left hand part. And what we'll come to see is that the parts are actually the exact same, right? This is actually known as parallel motion over here. If you think about it, the notes being lines will never intersect one another. This is the spacing between the notes, and they always remain to be the same, which makes it a little bit easier to play. Just think about hitting the same notes at the same time. C, D, E, F, G, which is stepwise motion going up, right? We're traveling upwards in steps, like going up a staircase. And then G, F, E, D, C. So now we're just doing the reverse of that, G down to C in stepwise motion, going down the steps. And then when we land on that C, we're going to be going up and back down in skipwise motions. Instead of going up steps, we're going to skip a step. Okay, so this is going to be C up to E, up to G, back down to E, and back down to C. And then to finish it off, we end off with a little harmonization over here. So we're not just playing one key at a time in each hand, we're actually playing 3. This is known as a C major triad in this example here. Beginning on C, we introduce the major third, which is the 3rd scale degree in the 5-finger scale, and we end with the dominant, which is the 5th scale degree. Okay, and with this exercise, what I want you to focus on if you're playing through this is remaining contact with the keys at all times. So these are my keys. I want to avoid having loose leaf fingers coming up. If I'm able to remain in contact with the keys, strike the key down, and not leave the key, then this will increase fluency by a milestone. I can promise you that. Okay, so we're remaining in contact with the keys throughout. We're remaining eye contact with the sheet music. And what you'll come to realize is that because your 5 fingers are essentially super glued to the keys, they're not moving anywhere, you actually don't need to look up and down at all, right? So going back to that analogy with the novel, if you are looking through a mirror, constantly glancing up and down to check for pronunciation, how much longer do you think it's going to take to finish the novel? And it goes both ways with this exercise here. Okay, so begin by practicing the right hand alone, then the left hand alone. And then when you do hands together, this is an opportunity to increase hand coordination. This exercise is great for increasing dexterity in general. You can speed it up as you go along. And yeah, hope you guys have fun with it, and I'll be seeing you soon.